Well, people, we made it to the draw. I know some of you didn't think it would happen. I didn't know if it would happen. This whole week has just been absolutely nuts. The whole focus has been on Novak Djokovic getting into the country, getting held, getting released, getting his visa cancellation overturned. Now waiting on, is he going to get deported before the tournament starts? But he's in the draw. The draw is out, and we're going to break it down now in what's been the craziest week of anticipation for a major in my lifetime ever. I'm going to tell my kids about it. Usually you're just like wondering who's going to be on what side of the draw, and now it's like who's going to be on what side of the Pacific Ocean. Will Djokovic get deported or not? That's actually still to be decided. At the time of recording, he has not been deported, but we'll see. I can't believe what's happening. Anyways, let's break down the tennis draw of the Australian Open 2022. Nadal's here. It's amazing to see Djokovic is here for now, like I said. Let's see the routes to the final for the different contenders and take a look at the nasty first-round matchups. This is the Slice 2022 coverage of the Australian Open presented by our friends at Top Court.
Welcome to the Australian Open.
Oh, that's a beauty.
All right, people, how are you doing, folks? How are you doing? Did you make it through this week of tennis news trying to figure out what the heck is going on? It probably put some gray hairs on your head like I got, and maybe took a couple years off your life. But if you're still here, thank you guys so much. Make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you have to be, because we're going to be covering the Australian Open 2022 in coverage for you here on The Slice as well as on our Instagram. Like I said, our presenting sponsor is Top Court. Top Court is an e-learning platform where all the best players in the world are doing classes on how to play, how to do mental focus, etc. And Nick Kyrgios, some people call him the GOAT, some people call him a clown. He just released his class on Top Court, and you can watch it for free by utilizing our free 14-day trial. Click the link below, become a GOAT. Just get around it, folks. So the draw's out, folks. The draw's out. This is going to be an ATP recap. We're going to be doing a WTA recap with some special guests here tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Djokovic, the big news about the draw, the tennis. It's nice to be talking about tennis. You guys saw my episode of the Sasa and Steven show with Sasha Osmo, where we talked in depth about the Djokovic dilemma. We're not going to be talking too much about that now. He's in the draw. The minister has not made a decision yet. I have a feeling it might happen pretty soon, so we'll see. But this is the tennis. And in the top half of the draw, we got Djokovic, Nadal, and Zverev. On the bottom half, we got Medvedev and Tsitsipas. So I'd say the top half, the tougher half from the looks of it. We got the draw put out with like microscopic writing from the Australian Open there. So, it's been a crazy tournament. Stays crazy, but I'll get in there and I'll be able to see with my eyeballs here. But so Djokovic could play Berrettini in the fourth round, and that would be his fourth major in a row playing Berrettini. And if Berrettini were to lose, which would be the probable outcome, that would be 4 major losses in a row, consecutive tournaments to one player. That would be crazy. Might be a record. Nick Kyrgios, back in action if he recovers from COVID in time, or tests negative, I guess. He could play Medvedev in round 2. So we'll get to the spicy first round matchups at the end. But let's take a quick look at the routes to the final. We got Djokovic playing fellow Serbian Kecmanovic in round 1, possible Tommy Paul in round 2. That would be an awesome match to watch. Round 3, Sonego. Round 4, Monfils or Garin, probably Monfils, who's played good, already won one of the 250s in the lead up to the Australian Open. In the quarterfinals, the quarterfinal to the final run could be the exact same that he had at the U.S. Open. Berrettini quarterfinals, semifinals either Nadal or Zverev, and then the finals is Medvedev most likely. So I wouldn't say it's a super simple draw for Djokovic in the best of times. With his reduced training for the Australian Open, his quarantine, he got put in, some people would call it COVID prison, breaking out with his lawyers. If he stays, that's going to have hampered his preparations, definitely, but he might have added fire and anger to play with, so we will have to wait and see how that helps him or hurts him. Nadal's route to the final is Marcus Giron first round. It's actually not easy. Kokkinakis second round, friend of the show. Definitely not easy. Karen Khachanov, third round. Hurkacz or Karatsev, fourth round. So that's just right there. If if you're following it at all, that's a nasty first bit of the draw. Reminds me of when he and Federer came back in 2017 after both having about 6 months off. Before that, Federer was ranked 17th, I think, and he had a pretty tough draw. He had to play 4 top 10 players in the tournament. Obviously ended up winning it. Legendary. But Nadal is going to have to do another, if he wants to win this tournament, he's going to have to go through, Kokkinakis, Kachanov, Hurkacz, Zverev, or Shapovalov, Djokovic, and then Medvedev. It would be one of the biggest asks of his career, to be honest, at this point in his career. But if anyone's proved that they can overcome adversity, it's Rafa Nadal. It's 120 slams. Enough said. Daniil Medvedev, Laaksonen. He could play Laaksonen and then Kyrgios in the second round. Again, blockbuster. We all know it. 2 of the meme lords, 2 of the GOATs. Kyrgios and Medvedev, it would be like, if I can imagine if the crowd's there and getting behind Kyrgios and he goes up against Medvedev, oh my gosh, the fireworks that could happen. I must see TV. I don't care what time of the night it happens at, I will be staying up and watching it. Needless to say, this is the 2 weeks we get into. Us North American tennis fans, Canadian tennis fans, don't get a lot of sleep. So welcome to the party. If you're a real one, you know who you are, and you're going to be tired by the end of the 2 weeks, but it's worth it for the culture. Anyways, Medvedev, third round, Humbert or Struff, Isner or Schwartzman, fourth round. Quarterfinals, Felix or Rublev. Semifinals, Tsitsipas. Finals, Djokovic. Interesting route. Not like he's the big time favorite on the bottom half, I think. None of these players should really prove too much of a problem for him. Big servers don't hurt him. Laakkonen's not going to hurt him. Kyrgios, big servers don't really hurt him. So I don't think Kyrgios in his current state would hurt Medvedev, honestly. Humbert could do some damage. You never know. He's not very consistent. So I think Medvedev's obviously a big favorite to get through the bottom. And with Zverev not being on the bottom, or Nadal, or Djokovic, obviously, he's my pick to make the final from the bottom for sure. Then we got Zverev, Altmaier, Millman or Lopez in the second round, Harris third round, Shapovalov or Opelka fourth round, quarterfinals Rafa, semifinals Djokovic, finals Medvedev. Would be an epic run. If he was to win his first major here, I predict that he will win a major in 2022. That's actually a prediction for Zverev based on his form. It just makes sense, and it's coming of time. And when he's playing good, he's arguably one of the hardest players to beat on a hard court, if not the hardest player to beat. I guess you got to put Djokovic and Medvedev above him, but you know what I mean. He can be extremely lethal. He can go through Rafa. He could go through Djokovic, depending on what happens, and he could go through Medvedev. So big opportunity for Zverev, obviously. Tsitsipas on the bottom half there as well. He's got Mikhail Emer first from Sweden, Sebastian Baez second, Dimitrov third, Fritz or RBA in the fourth round. In the quarterfinals, either Sinner or Ruud, 2 guys sitting just outside the top 10, I think, or Ruud might be 10th, I'm not sure. Semifinals, Medvedev, finals, Nole. So if you're looking at these 5, who would you guys say the toughest is? Let me know in the comment section below. My pick is Nadal because he's got right from the first. There's no real easy rounds there for him at all. Giron's not, shouldn't be that big of an issue for him, but could be tough. And then Kokkinakis is lethal in the second round, and he also is playing extremely, extremely well. So I think Nadal's got it the roughest. Let's look at, and then we got our Canadians quickly here. Not quickly. We're Canadian. This is the Canadian YouTube channel for covering tennis. You better believe it. We got in the first round, Emil Ruusuvuori. Second round, Davidovich Fokina. Third round, Daniel Evans. Fourth round, Andrei Rublev. Quarterfinals, Daniil Medvedev. So that's actually a pretty saucily bad draw for Felix. Tough. Each round there is super tough. Hopefully some of those players will lose for him, so he won't have to do that. Let's take a look at Shapovalov. Shapovalov's got Laszlo Djere, and then either Holger Rune, friend of the show, Soonwoo Kwon, or Opelka. After that, probably Opelka third round. Fourth round is either Zverev or Harris. So, yeah, tough draw for him as well. The Canadians both got tough draws, but that's what happens. Felix is 10th in the world now, or 9th. Jeez, I got to get this right. And Shapovalov is sitting just outside the top 10. So they're one of the competitors that people don't want to play early on in draws either. So let's take a look at the spicy first-round matchups. There is quite a few, to be fair, in this. We got Cameron Norrie versus Sebastian Korda, dynamite. Brandon Nakashima versus Matteo Berrettini, dynamite. Opelka versus Anderson. You hate to see that for old Kevin Anderson trying to make a comeback. Opelka's going to be a tough customer, full show. Holger Rune versus Soonwoo Kwon. That's epic. Hope for our guy Holger Rune there, but hoping for a good match, obviously. But he's in a little. If he can win that match, then he's got either Shapovalov or Zverev. On the bottom half here, we have Basilis Villi versus Andy Murray. Andy Murray's feeling pretty good. He's coming into this year. He is got higher expectations. He believes he can play with the best in the world, and he's on a mission to prove it to everyone, because there has been some doubters, there has been some haters, but Murray's coming at the haters like he probably always has been. Mikhail Emer versus Stefanos Tsitsipas. That's going to be a great first round matchup. We're going to have to see how Stefanos Tsitsipas' elbow has held up. Is he going to be top form? He didn't look like it. I think that was at the ATP Cup. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Then we got Dan Evans versus David Goffin. Not super exciting there, but Emil Ruusuvuori versus Felix Auger-Aliassime. And then lastly, Maxime Cressy, who just played Nadal, I think made the final in the 250 there, versus John Isner. Two big serving Americans. So, yeah, it's the best time of the year. They call it the Happy Slam. People are saying Australian Open, no longer the Happy Slam because of all this Djokovic craziness. Everyone's divided. Everyone's pissed. If Djokovic gets deported, it's just going to be so crazy for the tournament. Like I've said before, if he gets deported, is there an asterisk beside the winner? Because like the best player clearly coming in isn't there. You know, in the history books there won't be, but for this season we'll look back on that with like that was a damn shame. That tournament was a little bit skewed by international politics and the pandemic, and honestly Djokovic's just own mishandling of the situation. Any way you put it, he mishandled the situation in a bunch of ways, or his team did, and it's just a damn shame. So I hope he can play for tennis' sake. I don't have any opinion otherwise, and we will wait till see quarterfinal or qualifying action will get going now, and then we will rate Sunday night here in Canada. I'll be up late. We'll be watching the matches, and we will be doing some live stream watch-alongs with some of the Canadian matches, Felix Auger-Aliassime, Leila Annie Fernandez, and Denis Shapovalov. So make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys for being here. And go to the link below. Get your 14-day free trial of Top Court. It's a no-brainer. They're always putting new stuff on there. And if you look on the ATP rankings, like a lot of the top players are on there providing you amazing content. So you're welcome. Thanks for being here with The Slice. We will see you when the tournament gets rolling.
Welcome to the Australian Open.
Oh, that's a beauty. Oh, what an